Hey guys, nattyaim here. So a lot of you guys have been asking me what I do for aim training or aim training routine. And also my Twitch chat have been asking me quite frequently about how I go about improving my aim or my mechanics. So today I am making a video showing you my routine, both in aim labs and in Valorant. Starting off in aim labs, there are a couple of playlists that I want to take you guys through. I'm a big fan of aim trainers, and I do believe aim trainers do increase the rate in which you improve your aim, but it is not comprehensive or complete, I would say. I guess take it as a grain of salt because I'm just a gold player. I am not an expert by any means. This is just purely what I've been doing to improve my aim. So these two playlists are my favorite. Valorant Ramp Warmup by VT Minigod. This is fantastic for warming up. And another one, this is more of a aim training rather than a warm-up routine. This is VT Minigod's Demon 1 2024 aim routine remix. These are both free in aim labs. This ramp warm-up has some science behind it, and there is a document that is written by VT Minigod. Ramp stands for raise, activate, mobilize, and potentiate phase. I think this was developed for some like professional tennis players initially. Basically, it goes from low intensity tasks to more high intensity tasks. And I've been seeing a lot of consistency doing this ramp warm up. So I will show you guys. You know, starting off with something very chill, not too hard. Kind of getting a feel for your mouse's movement and how your, movement of the crosshair feels with your mouse movement. Just, feeling it out. Nothing too hard. I don't try that hard or go for high scores when I'm usually doing this task. And by the way, for sensitivity, I'll show you guys, 0.14 at 1600 DPI. This is same as in Valorant. It is considered like somewhere in the middle or mid to low sensitivity range. If you have a higher sensitivity, bigger flicks will be easier for you and more consistent. For some reason, if you have higher sensitivity, flicking from one corner to another becomes more, accurate because you can start to control it just with your wrist, I think. And when you have lower sensitivity, when you're trying to make big flicks, you kind of have to move your, whole arm and your shoulder blade, and it becomes less accurate. And it's kind of a trade-off. The thing with these aim training routine is that if you change around your sensitivity for each task, you can probably get higher scores and higher scores by adjusting your sensitivity depending on the task that you do. But I like to stay on a single sensitivity and kind of get used to my own sensitivity. Because the thing is, if you don't get, if you're on a low sensitivity and if you don't get good at using a wide range of your arm movement, you don't get that much better, right? Like the way you get better with low sensitivity is to be able to use, a big area of your mouse pad. But if you have a very high sensitivity, you will get better by being able to micro adjust with your fingertips, right? So I am not a fan of changing around sensitivity, which becomes kind of like a crutch just to get, higher scores in these tasks. So a little bit of a tracing task or tracking task. Nothing too precise. Go at a, comfortable pace. Try not to miss targets. Just getting warm, right? Not really going for high scores or anything, just trying to be smooth. Get your arm moving. Remember, this is a warm-up, not really a aim training routine. I will show you some aim training later on this video after I am done with this warm-up playlist. And I'm telling you, I don't miss this much usually because I'm not talking. I promise you. This is not real me, guys. Just making excuses for missing targets. See, I'm getting like lowest score right now because I'm talking and aiming. This is another good warm-up tasks. It's a very wide swiping task. Tracing while you are moving. Working on your smoothness. Just getting used to moving your mouse at a constant velocity. Next is strafing target. So this is where it starts getting hard. This is a hard task. It's kind of a combination of flicking, you know, leading the shot, click timing, and tracking. You know, I remember this task used to be so hard for me, but I can hit these targets now. And the less lead you get in front of these spheres with your crosshair, the harder it gets and the faster you can go. So as you get better, you can start placing your crosshair like close to the target as you flick instead of, you know, over aiming and click timing these spheres. And as I continue to get better, I'm sure I will be able to, you know, put less lead on my crosshair in order to hit these targets. Hey, but the reason that I've been getting asked a lot about my aiming routine is because you guys see some improvement in my mechanics, right? Oh my gosh, I got my lowest score. It's okay. I don't really have too much to say about this task. Another good warm-up task. Going from bigger spheres to smaller spheres. Yeah, this is a fantastic warm-up. I say just the right amount of difficulty. I guess this is a task for warming up your micro adjustments. This is mostly wrist and fingertip aiming. So warming up more of my hand, right? And the last one on the playlist is more of a grid shot type of task. I don't really recommend this type of task for aim training, but for warming up, it is very good because it forces you to be reactive and it forces you to, you know, move around your arm in a wide range. Move your shoulder, move your elbow joint, move your wrist, move your fingertips. Just get really warm. Very good for warming up your entire arm. Almost like you're waking up your nervous system. So that was the warm-up playlist. It's not very aim trainy. It's more of a warm-up type of tasks. I will show you guys the aim training playlist that I use. I haven't been doing as much as I like to. The thing with this Demon 1 2024 aim routine remix is that some of these tasks are really hard, at least for me. But I'm pretty sure if you actually get good at these tasks, your mouse control is going to be very good. But that's of course half of the equation, right? Because when you get in an actual game, your aim is connected to your movement. And you gotta have good character control that is linked to your aim, right? Yeah, even like starting off with this strafing exercise, this target moves really fast. And it's got some verticality and it's also smaller than the warm-up playlist. So pretty sure if you like try really hard to track this kind of target every day, your tracking will get much better. This is another hard one, both click timing and tracking, right? I think you have to hit these like 3 times. But if you can do this, your mouse control is going to be insane. Okay, this is like a really good task because this sphere starts moving and it like bounces every time you click. Show you how it goes, but it's really hard but very good. Like, hold on. I think it disappears after 4 clicks. Let me restart. And I'll stop talking and focus so I can show you how it goes. Like that. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Like that. Like that. I really like this task because it trains you on your flick. I think you can do this a couple of ways. One way is like this, just not over flicking and like slowing down as you reach the target, or you can be like very snappy and like micro adjust after you flick. I think it's beneficial to do both. But once you get comfortable with the hand-eye coordination of the cursor movement and your hand movement, your, I guess, brain will kind of employ whatever technique is most fit, like automatically. So I think it's important to get comfortable with different aiming techniques. Little tracking exercise, not terribly hard. And when I say it's not hard, I start missing. I really like this playlist because it's got everything, right? It's got tracking, it's got a little bit of a flicking exercise. But just remember, your right hand is only half of the equation. The other half is your movement in terms of aim. This task is very good because even though the target is not terribly small, it kind of like jiggles and it forces you to be aiming in the center for you to hit the target. You know, just fast as you can go without sacrificing accuracy. And if you want to get high scores, it's best to take the shortest pathing possible. But sometimes, because I'm aim training, sometimes I go for the bigger flicks just to make things hard. Because you notice these smaller flicks are much easier than like this. This is a very good exercise. Like the first 3 spheres, I think, forces you to do like these micro flicks or small flick. It's not micro flicks, it's small flicks. It forces you to make a big flick, track a target, and click time the target. So I'll show you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this is a fantastic training. It's got everything, a little flick, big flick, tracking, and click timing. It like forces you to combine all the skills that you have. Are you guys getting bored yet? Yeah, that's it for Aim Labs. So as I said, I am a huge fan of Aim Labs and aim training software, but it is only half of the equation, which is your mouse control. Valorant is very much a movement and aiming type of game. Like your movement is all part of your aim, right? Okay, so here we are in the range. Initially, when I got coached by Royal G, he asked me like, how comfortable are you like moving around and just like, you know, deleting these targets? And I think that question really captures what's needed in this game. What you need is for you to be like moving around, being very comfortable, just, you know, deleting targets without, you know, having a too much cognitive load. In this game, I think of aiming for the target as having 2 types of aiming technique. One is like aiming with your keyboard, and one is aiming with your mouse. And aiming with your keyboard, especially long range, is easier. Think you need to be able to do both. I am trying to get down the tracking method right now, and I am doing those exercises. But whenever you strafe and hit a target, there's two options, right? One is you can strafe and just try to track the enemy's head, which is the harder of the two. The other is you can over aim and just strafe into the target, in which case it will look like this. You see how I'm like strafing into the target as I'm... So I flick and just, you know, strafe into the target and time my click, right? Especially long range, this is very useful because when you're off the target, you can make very fine adjustment with your keyboard. So the exercise that I used to do, which I don't do so much anymore, is first I will get comfortable. Recoil control. So this is the easiest type of recoil control, right? Because you're just standing still and you're just controlling the recoil. There's another layer of difficulty if you were strafing, right? And there's even another layer of difficulty if you're strafing and flicking. And I believe that, at least for me, all these shooting techniques that you do, if you cannot do it in range, you probably cannot do it in a deathmatch when the enemy is shooting at you. And if you cannot do it in a deathmatch, you definitely cannot do it in a ranked match when you have like 10 utils flying at you at the same time and you have to process all the information as to, you know, where your teammates are, what you should do next, where you should position yourself. So it's not just purely gunfights, right? So one exercise that you can do, or that I used to do in order to improve my mechanics, is just strafing and shooting head. So both tracking and flicking into the enemy head. Another fantastic exercise that I like to recommend is just no strafe, eliminate 50, butt armor on. So just standing, you know, back here around the edge of the sandbag, and just D and S 80 strafing, just, you know, shooting the target. Just moving around, shooting these heads. And it will help you connect your, you know, mouse movement to the cursor movement combined with your actual AD movement. And some might argue that this type of like huge flicks is irrelevant in Valorant. I actually disagree with that statement, because in Valorant, when you're making flicks or big flicks, you're not really flicking from one enemy head to another. You're flicking from like an object to another. So for example, let's say you kill an enemy here and your next big threat is here. So you need to instantly flick to here. The faster and more accurately you can do this, the better setup you're going to have for this fight. For example, you fight this enemy and you're instantly ready to take this fight, right? So in terms of flicking in this game, I see it as being from like corners to corners, object to objects. The more accurate you are with these, you know, big flicks, the better aim you have, or better setup for the aim that you have in order to take the next fight, which helps you win gunfights. This exercise is also done by Liquid Nats, the pro player. I think he's a Senti player for Liquid, taught to me by Royal G. For strafing and shooting exercise, what I like to do is go to eliminate 100 static bots, and we'll just come to the side of the range, and we'll just This is the type of exercise that I do. Strafe around, both left and right, and try to tap heads. Something like that. And if you get like somewhere in the vicinity of 80 seconds, 80 to 90 seconds, I say it's good enough. Or at least for me, it's good enough. For flicking exercise, of course, medium bots, right? Gives you, gets you calibrated for flicking. Moving around and flicking. I'm just starting to realize that it's so hard to kind of express and get these like points across to you guys and really convey the message. I don't know if I'm doing a good job. But the main focus is that building the mechanics and range so that you can execute them in DM and eventually in ranked matches, right? I've heard people say like, why are you so good in range but you can't do them in ranked matches? Well, of course, like if you cannot do a certain exercise, a certain shooting technique in range, there's no way you're going to be able to do it in ranked, right? And the progression is such that once you get really comfortable in the range doing a certain thing, only then you're able to do them in a deathmatch when the enemy is shooting at you or shooting back at you. And once you get really, really comfortable, you can almost execute them without thinking, without taking up mental bandwidth. You start seeing it being executed in ranked matches. So it's very natural for you to be able to do certain things in range, but you cannot do it in ranked match, such as recoil control, right? If you cannot recoil control on a wall when nobody else is here, when nobody else is shooting at you, of course you cannot do it in a death match, right? And of course you cannot do it in a ranked match. So medium bots and of course hard bots, right? Hard bots are very good for calibrating your flicks. I am usually happy when I hit 20, so let's see if I can hit 20 right now. Okay, 19, not too bad on the first run. I'm usually happy if I can hit 20. So going back to the two shooting techniques that I was talking about, one is strafing into the enemy versus tracking. I think it's beneficial to be able to do both. Strafing into the enemy is a little bit easier. You can, get like a easy bot and overflick, strafe into the enemy, and kind of practice aiming with your keyboard. This is one of the exercises that I used to do. And then the exercise that I'm currently doing in order to improve my tracing or tracking is moving around while I'm tracing head like this, and switch heads while I'm moving around, and pull the trigger whenever I'm at a stop without getting a movement error. So kind of like this. Now I think this type of shooting I think is superior compared to strafing into the enemy, because it forces you to be aiming while you're moving, as opposed to if you're strafing to the enemy, you're kind of wasting the time. I mean, you're not even aiming, when you're moving, right? You're just waiting for your crosshair to be on the target and timing the click. I think in a real gunfight situation, it's more beneficial to be always aiming and get really comfortable doing half step, you know, full 2 steps or 1 step strafes. So this is what I've been doing recently to improve my aim. And by aim, what I mean is like aim including movement, because movement is part of aim, right? And finally, the hardest exercise of them all, doing this with strafing bots. So you can spawn, you know, delete 50 bots. You can spawn, eliminate 50 bots with strafe bot armor on. I kind of try to trace the target without moving first. Then I start practicing tracing head while moving and also shooting. And this is a fantastic exercise because not only you have to aim really hard to keep your crosshair on the target, you have to hit the head twice in order to delete the enemy or in order to delete the bot. And it really focuses on keeping your crosshair on the head. Strafing, headshots. I guess you can do this with the Guardian or Sheriff, but it's only 1 shot to the head. I believe doing it with the Ghost is a little bit harder, hence a little bit better exercise. And you also move faster, so your tracking is a little bit harder. So that is everything that I've been doing in the range. Let's go into a deathmatch so I can show you guys what I've been doing in deathmatch. So in terms of deathmatch, I cannot emphasize enough how important deathmatches are in developing your mechanics, because it really forces you to take one gunfights after another with like multiple enemies around, while you have to be conscious about like isolating angles and really like taking on like real gunfights, right? And there are a couple of exercises that I've been doing in deathmatch as well in order to improve my movement. So I will show you guys. Actually, I'll explain it to you verbally first. So the first exercise is dodging bullets exercise. So during the warm-up phase of deathmatch, what I do is just, you know, put a Sheriff or Guardian in my hand, and whenever I see an enemy and the gunfight begins, just dodge bullets. And the best way that I've heard a coach explain it to me in terms of dodging bullets is you strafe. Like you kind of develop a feel for when your enemy is going to shoot you, right? When you engage in a gunfight, at that split second, you want to strafe away. As they're getting ready to shoot you again, you strafe away. Strafe. And only when you have their head, you can shoot. Let's do it with the Guardian, actually.
Sorry, bro.
Getting kind of clean, no? Going for headshots always. Okay, there we go.
Riff Walker's out. Dead. Triple, baby. Quadra.
Ba-bam, ba-bam.
Dominating.
You're out. Riff Walker's out.
feel like my mechanics is getting better.
Target down.
10 kills remaining.
No, you don't.
1 kill remaining.
Okay. Let's do another deathmatch. Let's do another one so I can showcase you guys my skills.
Headshot. Got him.
That was a good battle. Whiffer versus Whiffer.
Get out of here. Ciao.
Okay.
Snuff out.
You know, considering I only used to get like 20 kills
remaining.
in a deathmatch, getting this much kills like consistently in a deathmatch lobby, I think is very good for me. Like, I would have lost that. But lately, I've been really feeling improvement in my mechanics.
Engineer killed.
One kill remaining.
27-23, not too bad. Guys, so I think that's it for today's video. I hope you took something away from this video. I think the gist of it is that getting comfortable moving, shooting, and headshotting moving targets while strafing around, and really honing in on that strafing to dodge bullet mechanics and aiming simultaneously, dodging bullets and getting that first headshot off, right? This is all I've been doing in terms of aim training. A lot of death matches, a lot of range practices, some aim labs training. I think it was helpful for you guys. I can do another one more in detail if you guys so wish. So I think that's it for today. So you guys have a fantastic morning, day, or evening wherever you are. And I will see you guys on my next update video soon. Bye.